Okay. Our goal is to make a system of inequalities for this situation. Caitlin sells her drawings at the county fair. She wants to sell at least 60 drawings. And she has two types, portraits and landscapes. And so right there I'm thinking that's probably my variables. I don't know how many portraits. I don't know how many landscapes. So I think I'm probably going to have to call these X and Y, but let's read on to make sure. She sells the portraits for $15 and the landscapes for $10. She needs to sell at least $800 worth of drawings in order to earn a profit. So we're supposed to write a system of inequalities to model this situation. So, yeah, the only thing that fluctuates here, the only thing that can change are the number of portraits and the number of landscapes drawings, things that Caitlin sells. I don't know what they are. We're told this, that she wants to sell at least 60 drawings. So portraits and landscapes, those are two different types of drawings. If we add the number of portraits plus the number of landscapes, we need that to be greater than or equal to 60 in order to be at least 60 drawings. And then we're also told that portraits are $15 each, so I'm going to put 15x here. That tells me how much money I made from my portraits. I'm going to add that to the money I made from the landscapes, and we want that to be at least $800. So we want that to be greater than or equal to $800. So there's our system. That's all you got to do for part A. You want to just write that X is the number of portraits and Y is the number of landscapes. And then to graph the system, these ones both lend themselves to elimination. Let me just see. Okay. So if we, not elimination, I'm sorry, we want to graph this using the intercepts method. So if you plug in a 0 in for Y, you get out X is 60. So you don't have to make 60 hash marks, just make a quick note where 60 is. Plug a 0 in for X, you get Y is 60, so our Y intercept is up here. So there's our first line. Now for the second line, do the same thing. Plug in a 0 for Y, and we got to divide both sides by 15 there. It gets X equals 53.33, so that's somewhere around here. Just rough sketch. Maybe if that's 50, we'll put it here. And then if X is 0, Y is going to be 80. So that's a dot a little bit higher. And so this is like solving a system of equations by graphing that we've done before. What you want to do is you want to plug in some values to test. Like there's sections over here. We don't want to deal with negative portraits, so we'll just consider this a section, this is a section, this is a section, and this is a section. So let's test this section. Let's try plugging in 20 for X and 20 for Y. If we do that, 20 plus 20 is greater than or equal to 40. Is that true? 20 plus 20 is greater than or equal to 60, I should say. Is that a true statement? It isn't, right? Because 40 isn't greater than 60. That's not true. So that means this is not our solution area over here. So maybe if we plugged in like 65 in for X, because, oh no, sorry, this is 53, roughly 53 here. So if we want to test something over here, let's try plugging in like 54 comma 1, because that will be a dot a little bit above. 54 in the X, 1 in the Y. That's something in this small slice of pizza over here. If you try plugging that in, 54 in for X, 1 in for Y, does that give us a true statement? 54 plus 1 is 55. That's not greater than 60, so that also is not a solution. And you might already know where the solution is. If you pick a point over here, like maybe, that's not 100 here, over here, like 100 comma 100, if you plug that in for X and for Y, that's definitely true. And if you plug it in down here, plug in 100 in for X and Y, that is true. 2,500 is greater than 800. So this is our solution area. Okay, so that's what we got to do when we graph. And that makes sense, right? Because it's okay to sell 1,000 portraits and 1,000 landscapes. So going bigger on the X and bigger on the Y are good things. Will she make a profit? if she sells 20 portraits, which was our x variable, so somewhere around here, and 35 landscapes, our graph tells us pretty confidently no. 50 portraits and 20 landscapes, that one might work. So we got to test that one out. Let's give ourselves some room here. So that means we're plugging in 50 in for x and 20 in for y. Oh, I lost my other inequality. Sorry, the other one was 15x plus 10y equals, it needs to be greater than or equal to 800, sorry. Okay, so let's plug in 50 in for x, 20 in for y. 50 plus 20 is greater than or equal to 60, so that's true with that first inequality. And if you plug in 50 for x, 20 for y, 15 times 50 makes 750, and then 10 times 20 makes 200. So that's going to give us 950. 950 is greater than. So this one, yes, our answer is yes, because if you plug this in for x and this in for y, it turns out to be a true statement.